Hey guys, thanks for stopping by for another video here at All I See Is W. And today I wanted to dive deep, share with you my overall price predictions with Bitcoin, as well as talk about strategy, MSTR, what my price predictions are. Today we did see some downside with MSTR. Although current state with Bitcoin price hovering up, I think all of this is attributed to Trump's recent announcement. We'll play that clip from Trump and we'll share with you the latest updates around the Bitcoin ecosystem right now. So if you're new to this channel, I would really appreciate you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content, and I would encourage you to watch through the entire video for my technical analysis prediction. Let's get started, guys. So first off, I wanted to share with you Bitcoin's overall price today. We see some healthy movements. The current state, Bitcoin is over $97,000. And what we're seeing is that institutional investors now control about 25% of Bitcoin ETFs, signaling heightened mainstream adoption and potential growth for Bitcoin. We also heard from Utah in that they advanced their bill allowing the state to invest 5% of public funds in Bitcoin by 2025, highlighting government level interest in cryptocurrency. Also, yesterday, the Texas Senate considers a strategic Bitcoin reserve reflecting Bitcoin's increasing role in state level financial strategies and economic planning. Also, we heard from Michael Saylor's MicroStrategy raising $2 billion to boost Bitcoin holdings, emphasizing strong institutional interests and significant investment in cryptocurrency. So you see here, the price, it did go down to about 95,000, but we're seeing here some healthy movements up here. So looking like a positive sign. I think this is all attributed to just what we're seeing with global game theory, financial institutions hodling up Bitcoin in addition to buying strategy. We even heard the California Retirement State Fund bought MicroStrategy. Also, we heard, Canadian banks buying MicroStrategy, as well as like JP Morgan Chase. We heard Cantor Fitzgerald putting $1 billion investment into MSTR. So they know something that's going to be coming. I think this is all conviction here because of the beautiful story that Saylor has painted when it comes to the branding of strategy. So one of the key things is that the reason why strategy is doing so well is that they have this business model where they continue to front run and continue to, acquire as much money as possible. What Saylor is able to do is tell that beautiful story, borrow money to make money. And how is he able to do that? He borrows money to buy Bitcoin so that Bitcoin will continue to appreciate as strategy becomes the Titan Bitcoin treasury. Think of it as like a Bitcoin bank. But current state, as we see Bitcoin price above 97,000, I think that we're at that part where we're going to see a big time run up, especially with the global supply shock with the price of Bitcoin, given that we only have about 1 million Bitcoins left out there to even mine. So that's the interesting takeaway here. And the reason why I'm very bullish with Bitcoin is that just based on the Bitcoin rainbow chart here, we're not out of the woods yet. We're expected to see huge run-ups here in the year 2025, at least where we are right now, still at that accumulation. Price of Bitcoin is still cheap. Kathy Woods is even saying in the next couple of years, we're expected to reach $1.5 million. So as soon as we see the white line here ramp up to like orange and red hue, that's when the RSI picks up where FOMO kicks in and it becomes overbought. But I do think that this gives us some color on us still being in that Bitcoin bull cycle throughout 2025. Let's take a look here. I wanted to play this video clip from Trump today.
Jones Industrial Average is up 2,200 points, and Bitcoin has set multiple all-time record highs because everyone knows that I'm committed to making America the crypto capital. We want to stay at the forefront of everything, and one of them is crypto. And Miami seems to be the center of the action, come to think of it, and maybe it'll stay there.
There you have it. Trump announcing that news that we will be the crypto capital in the United States. This is really ramping up the price of Bitcoin where we currently are right now. I also wanted to play this clip here from the US Secretary of Commerce from Howard Lutnick. Let's listen to him, what he has to say, this expert.
Hey, right now, today, right? If a bank were to hold your Bitcoin, they would have to set aside their own money equal to that amount in sort of like in a jail. I mean, you'd say, so, well, that's crazy. The answer is that's why they don't hold it. But if you let them hold it, if the regulatory environment was good, you will see all the traditional financial service companies, the big banks, the big brokerage companies, they're all going to go headfirst into Bitcoin pump. That's what's going to happen, and it's coming. It's a slow, steady process. But eventually there's going to be a CFTC chair who says, you know what? Bitcoin is a financial asset, and we're going to treat it as such. And when that happens, you're going to see Bitcoin move in a very, very strong, positive direction. So that's why I'm a fan of Bitcoin. It's going to go much higher. It bounces around like any other financial asset, but ultimately over the next 5 years, as it gets invited into this party, up we go.
There you heard it from Howard Lutnick. And the Bitcoin price is just going to keep going up there. So positive upside news from the expert from the US Secretary of Commerce. I also want to play this video clip from Texas, just hearing from Lee Bratcher, president of Texas Blockchain, testifying yesterday regarding the bill SB 21 in the Texas region. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak to you today in support of Senate Bill 21, the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve Bill. I want to begin by commending Chairman Schwartner for your leadership in bringing forward this bold and forward-thinking legislation. Texas has long been a leader in industry, energy, and innovation, and with this bill, we have the opportunity to extend that leadership into the financial future of our great state. The Bitcoin and digital assets community is watching Texas closely, and there's an incredible enthusiasm for what this bill represents. To Senator Nichols' question earlier from this morning, it's a valid question, and Bitcoin is backed by the insights from Austrian economics around monetary scarcity. It's backed by cryptographic security and decentralized energy, making it a prudent choice for long-term value storage. There are several companies and individual Texans that are willing to donate varying amounts of Bitcoin to the reserve to demonstrate their commitment to this initiative. To Senator Johnson's point about concerns around donations, we'll be twisting people's arms just to get them to donate a small amount of Bitcoin, since, as you all rightly pointed out, it is voluntary taxes in a way. And we will certainly respect Comptroller Hager's decisions about which donations he chooses to accept, ensuring that there are no donations that are a concerning amount. The proper custody of this asset is critical, and this bill empowers the Comptroller's office to put an RFP out for institutional grade qualified custodians. An institutional grade custodian ensures the security of Texas's Bitcoin holdings, protecting the reserve with industry best practices in cryptographic security and regulatory compliance. The Texas Blockchain Council strongly supports Senate Bill 21 and the vision it represents. If passed, this bill would enhance Texas' leading position as the most forward-looking state in America when it comes to monetary resilience, financial sovereignty, and innovation in digital assets. We look forward to working with this committee, the Comptroller's Office, and Chairman Schwartner to make this vision a reality.
There you had it. We got a taste of the strategic Bitcoin reserve proposal in Texas. So all of this here, I think all eyes are on the Texas sector. If we hear any positive upside with an approval, then I think there's going to be huge price action, supply chain shock with price of Bitcoin here. Let's also take a look here with this posting from Elon Musk. So looking for the gold at Fort Knox. So as we connect the dots as to what's happening with Doge and how that impacts Bitcoin and AI here. I think this is really just putting the pieces together. As soon as there's the initiative to audit Fort Knox, let's say if all of the gold is there as what we expect it to be, or if it's not there, what does this all mean? At one point, I'm forecasting that we're going to have some reallocation of what the United States currently owns. Actually, the people of the US, converting all of the gold assets into Bitcoin as the leading digital gold asset. And what does that mean? Price of Bitcoin is even going to skyrocket even further. Let's also take a look here with a posting from the Bitcoin therapist. So Saylor raising 2 billion to buy more Bitcoin, and everyone was worried why he didn't buy last week. Y'all are pathetic. So we talked about Saylor. He just has that beautiful story with the branding. He's able to borrow money to make money through purchase of raw Bitcoin, converting that to different levers, whether it's through dividend payouts, STRK, or like higher risk investments like MSTU, or even convertible bond type of approach, lower risk investment, but just catering to the different audiences that have an attraction towards the branding of MicroStrategy. So big bullish news here, convertible notes with 0% interest in the later years. So there's just going to be more upside with the price of MicroStrategy as well as Bitcoin. Let's say as Bitcoin price ramps up to 200,000 in the year 2025, I'm forecasting, MSTR stock price is going to go above $1,200. Let's take a look at Adam Livingston's posting here. So a lot of us are wondering, what does this mean with this 2 billion convertible senior notes here at 0% interest? We talk a lot about shareholder dilution, but let's dive deep to see what this really means here. So those who fear dilution in this context simply do not understand the mechanics of the strategy trade, nor do they grasp the fundamental nature of Bitcoin accumulation at scale. Dilution is not the destruction of value, it is the expansion of ownership over an appreciating asset. It is a financial mechanism that, when applied correctly, creates more value per share, not less. Here's why. The core thesis of strategy is that Bitcoin is the hardest asset ever created, and its long-term price trajectory is up, driven by absolute scarcity and increasing global adoption. The company's entire playbook revolves around raising cheap capital into debt and equity markets and converting that capital into Bitcoin, front-running the inevitable repricing of the global financial system. The recent 2 billion convertible senior notes offering is a masterstroke in this strategy. Why? Because strategy is borrowing at near zero interest rates, taking dollars that are depreciating in value and exchanging them for the scarcest, hardest money ever created. As Bitcoin appreciates, so does strategy's balance sheet, and more importantly, so does the Bitcoin per share. Why dilution actually increases value per share. Most people misunderstand dilution because they view it through the traditional corporate finance lens, where companies issue new shares to cover operating losses or inefficient spending. That's not what's happening here. Strategy is using dilution to increase its ownership of an exponentially appreciating asset. Each time the company issues more convertible debt or equity, it adds more Bitcoin to its treasury. But because Bitcoin outperforms any dilutionary effect over time, each share of MSTR becomes a claim on more Bitcoin, not less. Consider this: if you own 1% of a company holding 1,000 Bitcoin, your stake represents 10 Bitcoin. Now, if the company issues more shares to raise capital and buys another 1,000 Bitcoins, and the share count only increases by 50%, your ownership of the Bitcoin treasury has increased, not decreased. Over time, this effect compounds, meaning shareholders are getting an ever larger claim on an increasingly valuable asset. Why complaints about dilution are unfolded? The recent concerns about dilution come from people who do not understand the strategy nor the long-term implications of Bitcoin adoption. The fear-based arguments assume that MSCR stock is being permanently watered down, but this misses the crucial point. Bitcoin is not a static asset. It is designed to appreciate as fiat collapses and by aggressively acquiring more of it. Strategy is setting itself up to capture a disproportionate share of that upside. More importantly, the debt itself is convertible, meaning it isn't even a traditional liability. The holders of the notes will likely convert them into equity as MSTR stock price rises, meaning the debt disappears into ownership, reducing any actual repayment burden. This is what makes the move so brilliant. It allows Saylor to continuously increase its Bitcoin holdings without taking on toxic debt. So, very detailed analytical posting here from Adam Livingston. Thank you so much. It really helps me as well as the audience here really understand how Saylor is able to borrow money to make more money through the MicroStrategy way. Let's take a look at technicals here. With my drawing of technical analysis, what we're seeing here is that consistent consolidation over the 3 months. Yes, we see, price here hitting at 280 at the support level where the current price is is reaching close to that, $300 time point here. But I think that what we're seeing with this continuous consolidation in this pennant bull flag here, we're expected to see a reverse pattern here where RSI is going to start ramping up volume of shares trading. We continue to see institutions buying up strategy. That's financial institutions. You have, international banks. You have just retail really loving the branding of strategy here. And I think that, come April timeframe, similar to what Tom Lee suggested, is that we're going to see, MSCR break through that $750 range and think about as Bitcoin price reaches 200,000 in the year 2025, we can very well see it break through that $1,200. I think the story of strategy, the business model works, and we continue to see that resilience remain. Just buying up Bitcoin since 2020, I don't think there's any other company that can match strategy, and that's why there's so much people that really love the story that's being told here, and that's why the share price at one point is just going to continue going up, and this will, dominate the Max 7, and we've seen that over the years. But that doesn't end here. I think that we're just going to continue to see strategy grow and become a $1 trillion company. So there you have it. I hope that you found this video valuable. If you did, I would really appreciate, first off, you hitting the like, subscribing for more related content. Let me know where you're watching from. Any comments or questions, leave it down below. I'd love to read it all. Thanks, guys, for watching.